Hey everyone, welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to learn how we can develop our own Apex REST. So here is a use case for you. The requirement is that the third party system for whom we are developing our Apex REST, those will send the ID of an account in the URL. What we need to do is we need to fetch the ID from the URL and then send back the account information along with the related contact and open cases. So what all information we need to send is, for the account we need to send like name, industry, rating, phone, fax and description. And for the contact we need to send the first name, last name and email and phone. And then for the open cases we need to send the case number, the subject of the case, what the description is, what is the status and who is the owner of that case. So this is a very simple use case where we need to send the information. That means our third party system will be sending us a GET request because they wanted to get the data, and then we need to send that this information to the third party system. So let's quickly start developing this. This is our environment where we are going to complete this course. This is a brand new environment I created for this purpose of this course. Let's quickly start creating a class here. So we are here in the class section. We need to create a class. Before we create a class, I do have a test user credential. I already created this user for you so that you all can log in and you can use or you can access the code here. So now let's quickly start with that. What we need to do is we need to create a global class. We will say that global class, and we are going to name it as account manager because we wanted to play with the account. And then we have got this is a class, it's basic or simple class structure. Now let's quickly save this. We saved this information. The first step is to annotate the class using at the rate rest resource. So that is what we are going to do here, rest resource. And this was accepting one parameter, that was URL mapping. And this is accept, like what we want to do is, let's say that we want to say account version 1, and then let's make the changes like this, version 1 account, and then put an asterisk here. Why we are putting asterisk? Because we can accept anything after this asterisk. That's why we are putting asterisk here. So we are getting URL mapping. It should be, yep, like this. Yeah, that's correct. So now we created a class. We provided that we wanted to say that this is a class with this URL. Now we need to implement our use case. The use case was getting the ID of our account and sending the related information. First thing that we need to do is we need to create a method here. So we will say that global static void. For now we are using return type as void, but later on we will change whatever the information we wanted to return. We will say that get or we can say that here account information. Now what we need to do is we just need to annotate this with a method called http get. Why we are annotating this with this method, this annotation? So whenever the system who is consuming our services will send a get request, this method will automatically get executed. What if we try to create same annotation with a different name? Let's quickly see what will happen. We will get an error here saying that only one method per type can have with the get annotated, like means inside one class only one method can be annotated with either get, post, put, delete, patch or any these annotations. So now we did here. What we need to do is as we discussed that REST context is a class which contains the information about request and response. Now what we get is we wanted to get to know the information about the request, what request we are getting. That means we wanted to get the request URI. So what we will say here is we will say that we will create a parameter of our request class. We will say that REST request, and we can create a parameter here as and we will say that REST context dot request, because this is what we saw here in our earlier lecture. Now if we save this, we are getting REST request. Okay, now we are able to save our request. Now inside this particular class, what all we will get, even if we wanted to use this, we can use some here, like let's say that REST request class in Salesforce. We will get the first link, we can open this, and then we can see what all methods are available for us. Even we can if we want, we can put the debug for that to see what all we are getting here. Now we have got here, like we wanted to, this is also a very basic example that we are taking here. So even we can copy this, and then because even we are dealing with that thing, we will copy this and we can go to here. But our main purpose was to get to know what all methods we do have here. So we have all these methods that we just discussed even in our previous lecture. So we copied that piece of code from our Apex class, from the Salesforce developer blog. Here we are saying that we are getting an account ID. How we are getting the account ID? So first thing is that we are getting, suppose that we are getting here the request URI. The URI will be the URL that is being executed, or which is causing this particular method to be executed. So how we can do is, here we have this request, we can say that request dot request URI. Sorry, let's comment this out. Now we have got here request URI. Now what we want here is, we want to get the parameter how user will first thing, let's say how user will be sending a request. User will be sending request like this, version 1 account, and here it user will be sending the ID like this 001, and there will be some kind of this kind of ID. Now we need to get this. How we will get this? We have two methods inside a string class method. We do have a method called substring after. So how we can use this? Inside this method, sorry, inside this variable, we are storing our Apex class. How we can do that? Sorry, our URL. How we can get this is, we can quickly say here dot substring after which we wanted to get the data after this. So whatever the data user will be sending after this particular, or we can say that after last. Why? Because this is the last thing that we wanted to, this is the last forward slash, after that we wanted to get the data. That's what we said here, substring after last forward slash. Now let's try to save it. Yeah, we are good. This is how you can get the ID of our account record. Now as we have ID of our account record, what we can do is, we can make a query on account record, and then we can return the related objects as well. So what we can do is, let's quickly put here record on. Why we are using list to store a single record event? Because we don't know either user is sending a correct ID to us or an invalid ID. That's why we are using account here. So we will say that account list, and now what we wanted to store here is, we wanted to store account ID, its name, then we have got rating, industry, description, phone, and fax. These are the fields that we wanted to return from our account record. Now we have got a filter here. We can say here, let's quickly put from where we wanted to return, from account. What is the filter? We are saying that where ID in this particular variable, whatever we are storing the ID after getting from the URI. That's now what we have got here. Now even we wanted to return related contacts as well, we wanted to return related cases as well. How we can do that? As we know that case and contacts both are related with accounts, what we can do is, here let's quickly say here list of contact, we can say that contact list, and we can put a query here on contact object saying that contact name, first name, last name, email, phone. These are the things that we wanted to send for an account, sorry, for an contact here, for all the contacts. Now what we can do here is, we can put a filter saying from contact but where we wanted to send this, like what filter is there. So we can say that where account ID, because contact and account are related with each other with the help of a lookup field, and the API name is account ID. We will just walk through, I will quickly walk you through here. For now, let's quickly put here. Now we have got contact information, we have got account information as well. Let's quickly see about the fields that we are talking, or the relationship. To see the relationship, we are here on the contact, and let's quickly get to the fields of the contact object we wanted to see here. If you see here, this is a lookup field of account, and the API name you wanted to check here is, we can see here it is a even we see that it is a account, there is nothing which is saying that account ID, but yeah, the backend is stored as account ID. If you wanted to see here, let's quickly open any one record for account. I will open this and then I will show you. So I am using one extension which is displaying the account, which is actually displaying the API name of all the fields. So if you see here, this is an account ID. Now in the same case, we can talk about the case as well. We can open this case, or sorry, any single case, and then we can open this. Let's quickly open this case we have got, and to check the API name, you can see here account is this. What we need to do is we just need to click here, and we will see the ID for case is also, sorry, the API name for the case is also account ID. So we are going to just again make a query on, and this time this query will be on case. We will say case list, and we will make a query here saying select ID, case number, subject, description, status, and owner name. We wanted to display our owner name as well. Now we need to say here from which object we want. We wanted to get from case. What is the filter? The filter is where account ID in the ID that we are getting from the URL. So we have got this ID here, and we are done. Now what we did is here, we get the request. From the request, we extracted the account ID that we wanted, and then we are making the query on all three objects. We are not using inner queries. Even if we will use inner query, we will get we need to execute 3 SOQL query, even it will count 3 SOQL query. That's why either we make this way or we make the use of inner query, both will count as a 3 SOQL queries. That's why we are making in a separate query. Now we also need to return this information to the user, to the system which is actually consuming our API, or which is actually responsible to execute this particular account information method. How we can do that? We can use we can leverage the information, or we can say that we can leverage the benefit of wrapper class. So how we can use that? Let's quickly say here we are going to create one more wrapper class. We will say that global class, and we will say here account wrapper. Wrapper class is a nothing, it's a class as well, which contains the information related with to either connected or related or unrelated objects. So here we are going to create information. We wanted to store account information. So I will say that account record. This is one parameter. Let's make it as a global, and then I'm going to create one more. I will say that global list of contact. We'll say that contact list, and then we are going to say that global list of cases. So we will say here case list. So these are the three information, like the information of these three objects we wanted to return. Now what we can do is we can quickly say here this is the return type of our method, and then we have to prepare the information that we wanted to return. What we will say here is we will create an object of this wrapper class, and then from the wrapper what we need to do is we just need to check here. We will say if this list is not empty, that means we are using the method of list class, which is saying if this list is empty, and then we are inverting it. That means if it is not empty, that means we are going to say here wrapper.account record, it will be equivalent to, we are going to get, because it is anyways going to get only one account record. Now we can use the same, we can use the other variables. So we can assign the variables here, like saying contact list as this, and then for the case list as well, because if you don't have any case or contact, that doesn't matter, but we must need to check about sorry, yeah, for the account. If we have, that means we definitely have uh, the account information, not need not to worry about contact list. Now as we are getting the error here, missing return type, so what we need to do is we need to say, yep, return this particular information to the user. So this is how quickly you can create your class, your REST class. Now as we developed our REST services, it's time to test these REST services. So before we test, let's quickly find out an account which have contact and related cases as well. So we are going to test here. We have got this account. Let's open it and see if we have some contact and cases as well. So we have got one contact and we have got two cases related to that account. And we have not put a filter of sending the open cases, because we don't have any open case here. That's why we are sending all the cases without putting a filter related to an account. Now to test it, how we can do this, we just need to copy this URL. As we in our previous lecture we saw how we can quickly test that. We just need to open our Workbench, go to Utilities tab and select REST Explorer. So and then what we need to do is we just need to refresh or replace our URL. So again this URL will be services Apex REST, and then whatever our URL is, the URL is this, and then before this it will automatically take the base URL of our Salesforce environment as we are logged in Workbench. So to get the information about what we need to do is we need to say here get, because we are getting, and we need to pass account ID here. So let's quickly pass account ID and try to execute this and see if we are getting to if we are able to get the information that we are trying to. Yep, you can see here we have got account record. These are the values that we are getting. Then we have got case list, we have got two cases, we're getting those information. Then we have got contact list and one contact. If you wanted to see the information in JSON form, you can see here, and you can see all information that we are sending from our Apex class, we are quickly getting that. So this is how you can quickly parse your request URI, get the related information, and then do the process or do the logic processing inside your class, leverage the benefit of your wrapper classes, and then return the response to the system which is actually consuming your API. So this is it for this lecture. In the next lecture we will learn more about Apex REST services. Thank you.